scholars of the workshop and their students. In fact, it was after a long persuasion by the research scholars from the department for a long time that we would like to have a seminar workshop on research methodology, which constitutes a core of any research, especially in social sciences. As we know that any methodology which is being adapted by a research scholar is being testified after he or she tries to publish his research papers in the leading publishing journals. In this connect, if I am reminded well, Professor Irshad Nauchu Saab also presided in one of our seminar by Taylor and Francis, who are the leading publishers in the world, also made an emphasis that it's the methodology which plays a very important role in getting the research articles published in the reputed journals. And Madam, I would like to bring to your notes again that as we know, in our university, we generally after every year has a appointment of contractual lecturers where we make a screening for their research publications. One of the important thing is that whether it has been published in a reputed journals or not, journals which has a good impact factor. So it means that this workshop was much needed, and somehow by the help of my team in the department and research scholars and others who are involved in this activity have helped me a lot to see that we could provide a better facility to our research scholars by inviting some experts who are known nationally but internationally of high reputation. So I would, failing my duty if I not mention Professor Nisarul Haq and Professor Rekha Saxena is one of the leading professors of from India and who have worked on different research themes with their supervision. So we thought we would invite them to benefit our scholars. Since these experts will get them through to all nitty-gritties of the methodology that is to be adapted, types of data analysis, analyzing the material, then how to collect primary and secondary source, that will be taken care of by these experts and resource persons for weeks' time in the seminar hall of our department. And I would congratulate our worthy Vice Chancellor for giving us an academic calendar, which was almost in disarray. The Honorable Vice Chancellor, I think, when she assumed a charge, in the second week of assuming charge, I think she called on and she invited Dean Research to ask, to direct him that try to adhere to the academic calendar, especially with the research scholars. We used to have RPECs, 4 presentations before we submit, and then evaluation process, which was almost has taken on back seat. But thank God, and we are highly indebted to our worthy Vice Chancellor and esteemed Dean, School of Social Sciences, who always pay heed to our request. We have almost cleared our research scholars RPEC, and presentation is being made at the time when they need it to get, because they need feedback from scholars, faculty members. We used to have 4 presentations after they submit, which makes no sense. But our academic calendar is intact, for which I personally and my department as well highly indebted to our authorities as well.
Always a pleasure, to come back to Kashmir University, and this is not my first time. I've been coming here for almost a decade now, and I look forward for opportunities to come back to this university, and because I have been working on Kashmir, I work on federalism, I work on center-state relations, I've written on asymmetrical federalism, on different aspects, gender-related issues. I specialize in Indian comparative politics, and I also work on gender-related issues and research methods. I want to congratulate, Department of Political Science and the head Professor, Parvez Irshad for this kind of invitation, to be part of this important deliberation and I think this is a very good initiative to organize this workshop, because research methodology is very important component of any discipline. Even in Delhi University and other parts, MPhil coursework has degree has been abolished. So now we have direct PhD in Delhi University. Also we have direct PhD, but it's very important to know what are the important components, what is the significance of research. So in masters we have introduced a component on research methods, though it's very in the preliminary stage, but it's good to know what are the nuts and bolts of research. So and in PhD, of course, though there is MPhil is no more there, but in we have the last batch of MPhil in Delhi University now, and but direct PhD also we have a component. So in research they have to be part of the, it's essential to be part of the research methods course. So I think so I'm very happy to be here, and I look forward to interacting with you tomorrow and discussing different aspects of research about because it is very relevant as you go for higher research, how to write a research proposal, and about research questions, selecting a topic, that is very important. Because the PhD is not just the first, I would say it is not the last, but the first degree, research degree. And the real work starts after PhD, your postdoctorate work, that is your real work.
It is always a pleasure to be in Kashmir, and particularly during this particular month. I think that I would like to thank the head of the department, Professor Ishaq Saab, who has organized this particular research methodology workshop, which is very necessary for the students or for the research scholar. I think that the most important thing is that in the research methodology workshop, you understand that what are the components of the research, and what are the methods which should be used, what are the tools which should be used, and how, why, and what kind of tools you will use it, what would be your sample size, and so on and so forth. So it will be very, very beneficial, and I congratulate Ishaq Saab, the department, the Vice Chancellor, for organizing such a wonderful research methodology workshop.
A very good morning to all of you to discuss some issues regarding to what the workshop is all about. I have been highlighting many a times when I conducted vivas or convened the meetings of boards that we must organize workshops and seminars for research methodology. And I am thankful to Ishaq Saab that we have already so far organized 2 workshops, and this is the 3rd one, where in different schools they are trying to educate as to what are the basic plans of drafting a methodology. I will precisely highlight what are the necessities of this type of workshop and how the participants can get educated by interacting with the specialists from the subjects and trying to interact, not necessarily to just listen to them, trying to interact and try to propose something they want to do. See, my suggestions are, once you join a research program, on the first day itself, don't think about that this is the ultimate program that you have to work on. On an average, we give every scholar about 6 months duration to understand what research is all about, and give him a time span to draft a plan so that he will be able to not only have a sequentialing of the methods that he is going to follow, but also what standard methods are in vogue and what are the modifications that are needed of when he will try or she will try to follow that plan. See, we have many books on research methodology in different subjects in different schools, but none of them is ultimate. We can modify methodology at any time and every time. Once you draft a plan for research, start experimentation, start compiling data, you find that what method was followed by Professor A and what you are doing, there is a difference in terms of compilation of data, in terms of experimentation, or in terms of planning how you can achieve the goals. Reflecting thereby that the method that was quoted by somebody else can be the plan, but modification is in your hands. That method can in turn be edited, modified so that you can achieve the goals as per the plan that you have drafted. Ordinarily, one of the drawbacks is that we look at the methods followed by Professor A, Professor B, and so on, and try to follow exactly the same pattern. But at the end, we find that that method is not at par with what my drafted plan is. And sometimes we have to modify not only the methodology as a whole, but also try to edit what our work plans are. And that is why we find that unless and until we educate ourselves to begin with, then the scholars, as to what are the best ways and means of understanding the methods and implementing those in toto, we can achieve the goals. In each subject, from faculty to faculty, suppose there are 5 faculty members in one department, if you look at the work plan in faculty 1's room and compare that with faculty 2 or faculty 3, you will find that even though subject is same, suppose it is political science, subject is same, but the methodology that is followed will vary. And ultimately that varied methodology will help the scholar to achieve the goals. Reflecting thereby that it is not restricted, that we have to follow a methodology followed in the Department of Political Science or in Commerce or in Economics. Within those departments it will vary. And even if working under the same supervisor, on the basis of the theme allotted to a particular scholar, methodology will change. Methodology will be different. That will actually help us to understand exactly what the theme I have to work on and what methodology I have to follow. It is not necessarily the subject theme or subject concern as such, but it is the plan of work that you are going to carry out. And in each stage, you will find that you are entitled to edit the methodology also. Sometimes we feel a method quoted by a renowned scientist or renowned, say, politician or a renowned botanist or biologist as such is ultimate. No. No method can be treated as ultimate because with every passing day, the concept varies. Advancement is increasing and we in turn have to modify that. And we have seen that once we try to compare methodologies followed by A with ourselves, we find that we have to modify. And that modification is based on whatever data has been compiled by him or her and what I have to compile. So data compilation and experimentation will give you an idea as to what are the needs and necessities. Similarly, when we look at methods, certain methods can be methods of interaction. What language, what medium of interaction you will use. If you look at science interactions, you find that we always use technical terms. And if you look at arts interaction, we usually use a language where the interaction will reveal something that is understood by the person who is trying to get the information and the person who is sharing the information. And the language that we use is backbone of methodology that we follow. In science also, if I want to analyze the data, I should first understand the science language of my subject and then try to understand that has been followed or that has been drafted as a method for compiling or making an experimentation. Similarly, when we want to implement that method or use that method, it is better to first try to practically assess whether that method or that implementation process is exactly understood by me or not. For example, if I want somebody to collect information, he goes to a community which is not using English or Urdu or Hindi or other language that I can speak. There, my methodology will not be complete unless I know that I have to carry with me a translator who will act as a communicator between that community member and me, and the data will be exactly translated. Otherwise, I will use English language, Urdu language. His language or her language will be different. I will literally translate it without understanding what the meaning of that translation is. And the data at the end will be misquoting the information of that particular member or that community. And once it is assessed for, say, allotting a particular theme or assessed for allotting the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, we find that methodology has a drawback. What was quoted by that particular person or community member is not exactly translated in that. And we find that sometimes one drawback in methodology can be the drawback of the whole PhD program as such. So we have to understand exactly at which stage we have to modify and try to understand by interacting with those who have the knowledge. And whatever we modify, we cannot claim that it's my method. We can claim the method was quoted by this, but I have modified to this extent. reference of that was drafted that method is to be quoted to begin with, and then what modification I induced. I can mention that method quoted by, say, Smith in 1920 has been modified by me by using this particular, say, method of altering that sort of experimentation. In research, everything can be modified provided you understand what the concept of modification is. And for that, unless and until we understand the methodology that we have to follow, we cannot be able to implement that. And that is why such workshops, such interaction with experts who have been working for a longer duration of drafting an experimentation plan or drafting a research methodology can help us to modify our research design every day. As per the new research policy, as I have discussed this in many meetings, as per the new policy, we can submit our final synopsis 6 months before the registration. And that is where, if during experimentation we have modified our methodology or plan of work, we can actually have that as part of the synopsis. Otherwise, we have to resubmit a letter that I want to modify the title, I want to modify the plan of work. For that, we have modified research statutes as such. You can submit final synopsis with all the plans 6 months before your registration. That will in turn bear fruits. Otherwise, some get registered and submit everything in that, and they have to modify overall plan of work after almost being able to compile all data, and they have to submit only. And for that, they have to sometimes wait for almost 6-7 months more than that. And that is showing thereby that this methodology workshop or research methodology workshop will help us to understand that what we quote in the beginning is not the final quote. We can modify it at any stage, and that modification can be incorporated in your synopsis, and that can in turn be implemented for your work, so that at the end, once you submit the thesis, the results are at par with what the plan of work is. That's why such workshops, and again emphasize today, all the heads of different departments, different schools, try to organize such workshops where they can educate scholars through an expert panel's discussions that they have to understand first methodology and then try to start experimentation with their works or with their plan of work. Otherwise, they cannot achieve the goals that have been drafted. Usually, assessment of the thesis is first started by assessing the methodology that is followed by the scholars and comparing that methodology with the results that is trying to finalize or submit.
At the outset, I really congratulate Faculty of Social Sciences who have organized this particular workshop of 1 week. I think last week we had this type of workshop for our biological sciences. In our every meeting of Board of Research Studies of the respective faculty, I do stress that we should have research methodology activities for our research scholars, and it should be a continuous activity because it's very important. When we did our research, the methodology was different or the techniques were different. Now, definitely with the technology, the interpretation has changed, the analysis has changed, as Professor Irshad was just now saying. So we have to update ourselves. We need relevant resource persons who have expertise on these types of research methodology to guide our students and even to update our faculty. I'm sure that all our scholars will be benefited by this week-long workshop. My request is please take it seriously and try to resolve your difficulties, if any you have. Believe me, any program which one attends, ultimately what you do is you gain something from it. And I'm sure from this present workshop also, all our research scholars will be benefited. We had number of Board of Research Studies. Professor Irshad, my Dean Research, will bear out with me that it was a very serious business. Each and every synopsis was scrutinized sentence wise, and we were very particular about the objectives, title, methodology, because I know for last 3 weeks, because of the COVID reasons, that connection between the guide and the scholars was not over there, because it really matters when you're personally connected with your guides. It makes a difference. And I have also told him that of any respective faculty, at least we should have 2 Board of Research studies yearly, that's 6 monthly, and if any scholar has to update her or his research synopsis, it should be timely. After putting on lots of time, we should not in the end tell the scholar that you have to change this, you have to change that. So from our administrative point of view, inshallah, we'll take care of that, and I'm sure that our 2 resource persons from Delhi who are here with you to give some sessions, you all will be benefited by it, and I'm sure it will definitely make a difference. I would definitely like to see the feedback form in the end from the scholars after they attended, and if you can send me the feedback, what the feedback is, because I want to have these types of exercises very continuously on the campus so that our research scholars are benefited. And then Irshad Saab talked about the modern software for plagiarism. If we need it, and there's a need, definitely we'll buy it. It's not a big deal. And if we, I do want that in each and every field we should move forward and be transparent, and quality of research should improve. If it helps to improve our quality of research, we'll definitely purchase it. And with this hope, I do expect that all our scholars will take this 1 week long workshop as a serious exercise and benefit themselves, and in future bring a name to their institution where they are doing their research, because you are real assets for the institution. We have all hopes from you. Very recently we had a SERB meeting where they evaluated 700 proposals from all over India about postdoctorate fellowship. I would definitely like, inshallah, when you complete your research, you submit such proposals. So we are trying to make awareness on the campus about various other activities, about various other institutions where you can be benefited later on. We definitely look forward you to be excellent in your research and have a very good, publish your papers in good journals, and these types of research activities will help you. And these words, I congratulate once again Head Department of Political Science for taking this initiative and roping in other departments of social sciences for this activity, and I do hope that in future also these activities will be carried on. Thank you.